So Alex, as a coach, the result at the weekend was a little bit close to comfort. How did you feel after the result?
Yeah, I was pretty proud to come from 17 points behind against a very good Loughborough side. Showed a lot of character. I think it was a bit of a Jekyll Hyde performance, but that's not taking anything away from how Loughborough played, who took it to us, created opportunities and executed against them. But in the second half we managed to take control of the game in terms of territory and possession. That built pressure, it built points, and then ultimately just at the death, to get that try. You live for moments like that in rugby, so yeah, it was pretty good.
Saying that, the courage, determination, just resilience of your squad to do that, you don't want that happening every week. And what do you feel kind of let you down initially to get so far behind on the scoreboard?
I think again, we have to give credit to Loughborough, a good side. They caused us a lot of problems. We didn't adapt well enough. We probably didn't execute against our game plan in the way that we wanted to. So yeah, we don't want to be leaving it to the end in any of the games. But competition's tough. There's teams that are improving out there. So some of it's not in our control. So I think what we've got to learn is to take our opportunities, understand when we're under the pump a little bit, and find ways of managing that, almost taking the air out of an opposition's tyres. How do we do that? How can we more effectively do that? But ultimately, it's not going to be. It's not going to be all the plain sailing and easy. And to be honest, don't want it to be. It tests us if we found out more about ourselves in those games than we do in games where it might not be as tight. So yeah, ideally for my health and my grey hair, I don't really want tight games. But we've got to expect that there will be them, and it's finding solutions in those pressure moments that will define how successful we're going to be.
And you're one of the clubs this season who's introduced match fees into the club. Do you think that's impacted the players in any way? Do you think the motivation or enthusiasm, it wasn't lacking before, but do you think that's added something to the players?
I don't think the finances will add anything to the motivation of any group, really. The players are here at the club because they want to be the best players that they can be, working on fulfilling potential, and that's the main driving factor. I think what it does help with is those who are committing to quite long journeys. It essentially means that they're not out of pocket for the commitment they're doing. If you look at other sports, it is supporting players, removing barriers and ensuring that they're in the best place to perform, because ultimately as rugby players that's what we want them to do.
Definitely. And coaches I've spoken to in the past say that there are differences between coaching a men's and a women's side, and I wanted to ask, what do you enjoy about coaching this side, and are there any challenges?
There's plenty of challenges. In terms of differences, not all. I think we've got a good group of players. I enjoy working with them. It's a challenge. It's passion. They're passionate. They want to succeed, and it forces you to be better. So I really enjoy it from that point of view. And I think probably the rugby clubs across the land, male, female, whatever, there's probably similar approaches to things. Some of the challenges are, I would say, around kind of the fact that there's full-time jobs. That is one of the bigger challenges, and with full-time contracts being awarded to England players, it does mean that you have players that it is their full-time role, and then for some other players they're still competing at the same level without necessarily the rest and the day that lends itself to preparing as an athlete. But I love this club. I love the people at this club that make it really special, and the challenge is how can we keep it being better, how can we challenge the players to be better. So it's an enjoyable challenge and one that we relish, but it does it is challenging.
Yeah, and you mentioned it is a challenging role, and you will have learned a lot as you're a season and a bit in now. What do you feel are the main points that you've learned about yourself as a coach since you joined the club?
I think it's important to keep enjoying it. I think sometimes you can lose sight of that, and if you lose sight of it, the players lose sight of it, and we all come to work to play to enjoy and have fun. And I think sometimes you can get a little bit caught up in the hype around games, or the hype around how performances are going. But ultimately, as it says as you walk through the door, let's make some memories. And I think that's something that keeps us all grounded and keeps us, it is relative. As much as we love our rugby, we care about our rugby, and it's important to us. It's also important that we enjoy the people we're with, enjoy the environment we're in, and then when we look back, when we're old and greyer, that we look back and it's not just the games that you've won or the potential of the trophies that come at the end of things. It's the memories they create, and I think that's really good at keeping us grounded and keep us in perspective, really. Yeah. So just don't get too caught up and realise that there's a little bit more to it than just a performance or result at the end of it.